Okay, Timmy the Tick. Timmy the Tick needed killing. They called him Timmy the Tick because he was dyed in the wool bloodsucker. And he was a wannabe pimp, but he didn't have what it took to make the grade. So he was working as a Shylock, and he would loan money out. And there was a client that I had that would be perfect for Billy D. Williams. I haven't seen Billy do a film in quite some time. From time to time, I'll see him do a AT&T commercial. But the character's name was Silky, and because he was real smooth. Silky was in his 70s, and he had really gotten out of the game, but his old lady ran a whole stable of girls. So for all intent and purposes, Silky had retired. And the way he came into the fold was his bottom woman, which he called his wife-in-law, had got into a fight, and she had gotten busted not on a prostitution rap, but on assault. So he came to my office, and my partner was named Lorenzo, and he had been in the state legislature. He's gone now. Pancreatic cancer got him. But he had come to the office, and he said, I've got a major problem, and we talked about it, and the subject brought us around to money, and by this time, we had set up our own bonding company, and he had gone to the bonding company, and they sent him to me. And I said, you know, Silky, here's the problem. If you're running 8 or 10 women, you should have the money. You shouldn't need to have a bond. A bondsman step in for you. And he said, I do have the money, but I just got caught a little short. I've put it all out on the street in loans, and I've got a guy named Timmy the Tick handling it for it. And that was when I had first heard about him, and he said, the guy is an absolute psychopath. And he said, I wouldn't want him having paper on me. Well, getting back to the thing with Nikki's true love, and it's funny what makes people's boat float. The guy was a transvestite, and he worked in drag, but Nikki was in love with him. And the guy, Timmy, had approached, her street name was Rusty, had approached Rusty about coming to work for him. Well, Rusty turned him down. She said, I don't need anybody. I'm perfectly all right by myself. Well, time wore on, and the guy kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and finally, he dragged her into an alley and stabbed her to death. Well, I found out about it because of my relationship with your character, Alan. He was the one that told me that she'd been stabbed to death in an alley. And Nikki walked up on me, and I said, do you know a working girl named Rusty? Well, at this time, I didn't know that Rusty was a transvestite. And she said, yeah, Rusty's my best friend. She's the one that tells me all the hoe jokes. Well, that was a big thing down there. Was the girls would make up jokes about hookers, and some of them were funny as hell. Well, this girl, Rusty, would make up the jokes, and so I told Nikki that Rusty had been stabbed to death. And that led to a scene that I have titled Grief, and that's why I have to have a Dakota Fanning or somebody of her caliber, because it's a very tough scene. I had a drama coach in New York named Stella Adler, and she would refer to those scenes as actor killers. And this is an actor killer. But Nikki, after she had asked me to get her into the morgue, and I said okay, and I didn't understand why it was so important, but what she wanted to do was do Rusty's makeup, because Rusty was in drag. And she said one of Rusty's, the things that scared her the worst was somebody seeing her out of makeup. So Nikki went down to the morgue, did her makeup perfectly, combed out her wig and put it on her, and then her plan was was to find and kill Timmy the Tick, which she did. She lured him into an alley by saying, look, I know you had a problem with Rusty, but I'd like to go to work for you. Well, that dumb SOB fell for it. He went into a deal, and she shot him twice, once in the genitals and once in the head. And that was how that came about.